I've made what's happening in the tragedy in Darfur central to my presidential campaign. I believe that the biggest responsibility of the next president of the United States is to reestablish our moral authority to lead. America has to demonstrate through its action that we're willing to do things that are not in our selfish interest, but are in the long-term interest of humanity. And there are many examples of that. Obviously, the genocide in Darfur is one. The spread of HIV/AIDS is another. Economic development in places like Africa is another. Education, making education available to kids is another. I mean, we just have to consistently show that America is committed to the long-term interests of the world. If we really believe in equality and opportunity in America, it's something we ought to be exporting. I mean, it's something that ought to be available to all people in the world, and it certainly ought to be available to these families in Africa. America needs to provide the support, including logistical support, for a UN security force on the ground. We need to strengthen the sanctions. We need to use all of our diplomatic power, both with the Sudanese government directly and specifically with the Chinese, who clearly have leverage over the Sudanese government. And we need to be putting economic and diplomatic pressure on the Chinese so that they are also pressuring the Sudanese government to allow a UN security force on the ground. And then finally, America should lead an international effort to make sure that all the humanitarian relief that's needed on the ground for this crisis is available. I think America and the President of the United States should be dealing with al-Bashir directly. On any agreement that we're able to achieve with him, there have to be consequences when he violates those agreements. And he has had a pattern of consistent violation of past agreements. And there have to be serious and severe economic consequences. I would say to the members of this coalition and the supporters of this coalition, your work is already making a difference. The great social and moral movements in American history, they didn't begin inside the Oval Office. They began all across this country, just like this movement began. If you stay with it, we're going to change this thing. If America wants to live in a safe, secure world, the most important ingredient of that is for the world to see America as the rallying point when crises occur. That will never happen unless they see America taking action when bad things occur.